Is Munira on this call? Hi, Munira, can you hear me? Munira is supposed to be on this call. Okay, I guess she'll be joining us shortly. Before I hand over to our host, Osato and Ifechi, I first want to appreciate them and also the backend team, Gabriel and the other folks for the amazing work they've been doing so far. These guys have been relentlessly working on sorting your essays, the drafts you're sending in. And from next week, we'll begin giving live reviews on the session. And I think that will be like the last week for what we'll be doing here. But we would like to get feedback today of how the session has been for some of you. Just quick feedback in 2 minutes. I'm just going to pop a poll on your screen. And I would just like a response, a simple question. How has the bootcamp been for you so far? All right, if you see your screen, you would see it's an anonymous poll. We want to know if you've not been able to catch up or if you don't think that the bootcamp has been good enough. We just have 3 responses. Please keep them coming in. It's right on your screen, right?
Sorry, just to quickly explain. Munira is on the call, but she's unable to unmute and unmute herself and turn on her camera. I don't know what the technical team needs to do.
Yeah, that was not actually, I didn't disable that from the back end. I think she actually has the right to turn on. She's actually a host as well. Munira, maybe you want to exit and rejoin or something. I'm not sure. All the settings are in your favor from my end. All the settings are in your favor.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
You see, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
I'm about to turn on my camera.
Okay, let's see.
Can you see me now?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Legendary things. Okay, great. So guys, I would be, thank you all so much for those of you who are fielding the poll. Still waiting for more responses. There's a poll on your screen. Basically, how has the bootcamp been for you so far? Has it been great? Has it been terrible? Have you been unable to catch up? Let us know. The poll is live and it's on your screen. So without further wasting of time, I'm going to be handing off to Osato Alain Okwomose, our very own community manager, the person who ensures that every one of you get proper content, curriculum, etc. Osato Alain Okwomose, over to you.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Damilare. Thank you, Munira. Munira, nice to see your face again. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I think we'll just go straight to it. Shall share my screen. Okay, can we all see my screen?
We cannot see your screen.
Not
yet. I can't.
Okay. A minute, please.
Please let's keep the poll responses coming in. Your screen is here to come up, Osato. So do you like me to share my screen from my end?
Sharing now.
Okay.
Can we see the screen now?
Nope. Okay, yes, now yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll just go straight to it. Of course, as we all know, we'll be talking about the studying the UK essays, how to write your studying the UK essays, and as Mr. Martins has said, we have a great lineup of speakers. We have two Chevening scholars that are here to share with us how we can ace this particular essay. So next slide, of course, Global Wins, who we're a career and mentorship platform, and about You Lead International. Global Wins, a branch of You Lead International, and our vision is to be the world's foremost purpose discovery organization that provides young people with training, mentorship, and opportunities for professional development, entrepreneurial skills to position themselves for a life career, professional leadership, and entrepreneurial satisfaction. It's a lot of words that I don't think I have time to get into, but this is the vision of You Lead International, which is the, should I call it, the umbrella of Global Wins. Okay, and now what is Global Wins? Global Wins by You Lead is a mentorship platform designed to assist individuals to pursuing scholarships and careers across the globe. And just moving on to the agenda, we have 5 things on the agenda. Opening remark. Opening remark is obviously what Mr. Martins has already done. We'll have to meet our mentors, see their pictures, share a little bit about them, and then we'll hand over to the scholars to share their essay experience. So how was it for you guys when you were writing your own essays? Because bootcamp members have been saying that some of them are saying that they are confused, some of them are saying that they are stuck, and some are making progress. So how was it for you? So share your experience and share your slides with them to just give them a little bit of clarity before we move on to the live demo session. Okay, are we still with me? Just
Yes, I am with you.
all right, thank you, sir. Yeah. Now meet the mentors. Munira Ladan, a public health professional with a strong passion about health improvement and community development. She's the founder of Elkai Healthcare Foundation, and it's an NGO that focuses on increasing health awareness and improving health outcomes for women, girls, and children. Munira is a 2023 Chevening Scholar. She's currently pursuing a master's degree in global public health and policy from the Wolfson Institute of Population Health, Queen Mary University of London. Her goal is to contribute to decrease maternal in Nigeria. She's very imaginative and loves to read and listen to new perspectives. If I were you and I wanted to apply for something in the healthcare sector, like public health, I think Ola is applying for public health. There are quite a number of people applying for public health. Just sit tight and relax, because Munira is going to do justice to writing, helping you write your study in the UK essay. And next mentor, who you've already met, Damilare Ujo. He's a CFA charter holder and an advanced financial modeler certified by the Financial Modeling Institute. He's a Chevening Scholarship Award recipient, currently doing his master's program in economics at the University of Liverpool, United Kingdom. Prior to the commencement of his MSc studies, he led the investment research team at Mercer Securities Limited, a financial service group. He is well seasoned in macroeconomic and financial market analysis, including equities and fixed income. He has appeared as a guest on several news media, including Channels TV, Arise TV, and CNBC Africa, where he provided insight into macroeconomic and financial market trends and outlook, helping investors make informed investment decisions. Damilare has a strong quantitative and analytical skill. On the side, he loves nature, plays the piano, and enjoys both traveling and teaching. I mean, this is like the full package. If you are into finance, right? I've been seeing a number of things on the group chats: climate finance, health finance, everything finance. Mr. Damilare is here to help you. And even though you're not in the field of finance or in the field of public health, the speakers are well versed and they are right here waiting to see what you've written down in your essays, waiting to answer your questions, and waiting to give you feedback. So I will hand over to the scholars now so they can share their screen and we can get on with it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I can see us clapping already. We are good. So I think Munira, you can go ahead, or Damilare to just share your screen.
Thank you very much, Osato. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Try to share my screen now. I don't know, for some reason I cannot share my screen. I always have this issue with Google Chat. I don't know. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can hear it from your end.
Okay, just a moment. Let me pull up your screen. Can you hear me, Munira?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Let me pull up your screen quickly.
Okay. I think it's visible. I can see it. Dami, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Next slide, please. Martins. Next slide.
Oh, its slide is not moving. Wow. Oh, okay.
I'm not sure whether it's
Yeah, so looks like it's the static
that
side that you're
has
seeing. Just a moment.
Google Meet does some funny things sometimes with sharing slides.
Yeah, what about now? Can you see?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Great. What
But
can you see, please?
this is another slide. You need to go way back to the second
Okay.
slide. Yeah, I think this one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear us? Just you can use the icon thumbs up just to let us know you can hear us. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another bootcamp session. My name is Munira Musaladen. Osato has already introduced me, so I'm just going to give a brief overview of myself again. I'm a current Chevening scholar. Well, I'm done. I've completed my dissertation now, and I can say I am done with my studies.
Don't put pressure on us.
Yeah, so I can call myself a global health professional now since I'm done. I'm very excited to be here today and share with you my experience, and yeah, just have a very fun interactive session. Yeah, Dami, you can go ahead if you want to say something more about yourself.
Well, I mean, what can I say about myself? I'm still a student. Unlike Munira. Munira is ahead, a step ahead of Martins and I suppose. Anyway, I think my profile would already be foreign to a lot of people because I was here 2 weeks ago, I think, and we're just here, like Munira said, to have fun. Nothing too serious, but it's at the same time something very, very crucial to securing a place in the Chevening application. So that's simply it. So Munira, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so Martins, can you go back to the last slide? Sorry. Okay, so we want this to be like a very interactive session, so you can ask questions in between. We can throw questions, you can ask questions, and we want it to just be nothing serious, please. This is fun. I don't want to put pressure on anyone. I know you're already stressed. I know Chevening application process is, to be honest, is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. So I cannot lie, I understand the pressure and what is going on right now. So let's just make it easy and fun and interactive. So the goal for our session today is just to provide you guys with a roadmap for how to write the Y study in the UK while also providing practical guides and steps. So yeah, Martins, you can go to the next slide now.
What if I choose not to go to the next slide now?
Martins, PS, this is highly professional, so act professional, even though it's fun.
Noted.
Okay, so the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is Chevening looking for? Like when they ask you to write about why you want to study in the UK, this is like, you have to reflect on this question. It's really, really important. So you can see I've highlighted, or I have bolded some parts of this question. It says, outline why you selected your 3 university choices. So there's a why in this question. Why? You need to ask yourself, why have you selected the 3 university courses? You have to ask yourself why you've chosen those universities. And then you need to explain how they relate to your previous academic or professional experience and your plans for the future. So this question is asking you so many things. It's not just one question. You have to break it down into, let's say, 3 or 4, and then you can go ahead and start thinking about how to answer it. They also said you shouldn't duplicate the information you have entered in the work experience and education section of your application. So I want you to just like take a minute to look at these questions, look at the keywords that are in this question. These are the things that you need to reflect on, and that is how you go about answering the questions. So yeah, let's just take a minute, think about it. Or you can, if you have a paper close to you, you can pick out some points. Pick out why. Make 3 bullet points for the 3 universities you have in mind, or if you have them already. But I think it's a continuous process. But I think by now you should know which universities you want to go to, but there's still room for research. When I was doing my application, it took me 2 months. I took out 2 months before the applications opened. I had to do research. Research is very, very important. The first thing you need to do is you have to research. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You want to pick a school that perfectly aligns with your career goals and aspirations. This is really, really important. You need to take out the time to do research and go with what aligns with what you want to do, not because you know someone who is currently a Chevening scholar and they go to a certain school or they go to a certain city and you want to be with them. No, this is your once in a lifetime opportunity. When you get Chevening, you do not want to have any regrets. You want to pick a school that directly aligns with what you want to achieve and your goals. Very, very important. So I think by now we can go to the next slide, and Dami, I think you can take on that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, important emphasis on the why. And for those who were in the first session as well, that we had 2 weeks ago, you remember one of the things I also emphasized was that why. And the general tips, next slide, as you were before, Martin's place. Just want to talk about some general tips that you should bear in mind. This is a practical session. As much as possible, we want to make it practical. And we'll give you some general tips, and then we'll give you some practical guides as well before we look at, 1 or 2 sort of examples of how you could structure your essay. But these general tips and the practical guides would also give you an idea of the things you should be looking out for. So the first one of them, which is very crucial, is selecting 3 very similar courses, and again, this is another emphasis from what I said in the first session 2 weeks ago, which is that you have an option of choosing the same course in 3 different, maybe 3 different courses in 3 different universities, or 3 different courses in the same university, or maybe 2 universities, 2 courses in one course in another. But it's just good to spread your wings. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's risky to have the 3 courses in just a single university. It's quite risky. I mean, what happens if you don't get admission without school? So there's no hard and fast rule to this thing. It's what works best for you. You can decide to go with one university. I mean, as far as you're sure you can get admission, but it's just better to, what is more important is the choices of the courses as well. There should be a logical similarity between them. You can't say one course you've chosen is, say, global health and policy, like Munira, for instance, as your first choice, and then your second choice is something in education. Your third choice is, say, what else can I say now? Maybe pharmacy or something like that. There should be something. I mean, education is very far away from pharmacy and is very far away from global health. There should be a lot of similarity. If it's not exactly the same course, like, say, in school A, in my first choice, global health, second choice, global health, third choice, global health, it doesn't have to strictly be like that, but it could be global health. I think global health is similar to maybe just public health. It's similar to, I don't know, maybe Munira can help me with the project, but I think we get the point. Like, let there be a very, let there be a similarity between your 3 courses. Don't select courses that are just here and there, so that whoever you are convincing whoever is reading your essay is convinced that, yes, you have a clear roadmap as to what you want to do, in the future. Because again, remember, one of the things I've always told anybody that cares to listen is there should be like a common theme between your 4 essays. Yes, there are 4 different essays, but it's best that you don't look at them as 4 different essays. It's best that you have something like a common theme that reflects. Of course, you're not writing the same thing, but there should be at least one singular point that sticks to almost all the 4 essays that you can, and help you to ensure a logical flow. And then the second thing is, Munira has also said this before, but just for emphasis sake, research the schools thoroughly. Like, she just told you she spent 2 months to research the schools she's going to pick. And the thing is, you don't be in a haste to conclude on the schools. You can't be in a haste. One of the things you want to show the reader of your essay, those who are going to grade your essay, is that you've done a lot of research. And there's one trap that some people fall into here. I mean, if you read Chevening website that speaks to common mistakes that people make, is some people just do sort of cut and paste. Like, they go to the school's website, they see a line, they just copy it and put it in their essay without showing a sort of reflection of, okay, I've seen this point from the school's website, from the course website, from the course module. I need to reflect on that point. How does it relate to me? That is what you want to write down, not just, I saw a point on the school's website, I just copy it and put it in my website. They would know. That's the truth. They would know. I mean, there's a lot of AI these days that can help detect plagiarism, for instance. So you can't escape that. There should be a reflection. Yes, you should read from the school's website. And the third point also say that you should research the courses or modules content. You should read those things, reflect on them. How do they align with your goal? How do they align with what you've been doing in the past, your experience, and your future aspiration? Those are the things that you then want to put down. So you are talking about how what you've seen about the school, about the course, about the module content relates to you as a person. That is how you convince someone that, yes, you've done your research and you know what you are talking about, you know what you want out of this Chevening scholarship or out of life generally, so it's important to know the module's content. If you say, for instance, you want to go to University of Manchester to study, I'm looking for a course that is not related to Munira and I. You want to study cybersecurity. Okay, just for instance, how does the specific content of that module, relate to your future aspirations? Because you see, cybersecurity in Manchester, University of Manchester, the content module might be slightly different from the content module of cybersecurity in University of London, for instance, if you get what I'm trying to say. So the content of the modules might be slightly different, but what you should aspire to tell any reader of your essay is that you've done your research and you know what the content is about of the module, because you would see these things online. For, if not 100%, maybe not to just generalize, for a lot of schools, you will see the module contents online on their website. So it's not an hidden information. They tell you ahead, this is what the content is about, the course is about, these are the specific modules you are going to take, this is the way the course is going to be delivered. And then you also, from how those courses will be delivered, there are some skills that some schools will put that they want you to be able to show. Like, for instance, working in a team, presentation skills, analysis skills, quantitative skills, some of those things. Those are the things you want to bring out and reflect on them and put them in your essay as how they would help you achieve your goal eventually. So, and then the other point is that you should also research the lecturers. Don't mind this reflection, it's just fun. I just like this where I'm seated, So research the lecturers. Some of them might be doing some research that is interesting to you in terms of what you aspire to do in the future. So for instance, I had when I was doing my own research, right, the 3 schools I chose, 2 of them, one of the things I speak about for 2 of them is the fact that there are specific lecturers I would like to meet because they are doing their research area focuses on monetary policy making. They do a lot of research for central banks globally, the European Central Bank, the Federal Reserves of the US, the Bank of England. They do research for these people. And those are the kind of things that interest me because I want to be a central banker, right? You want to, remember we said it's not just you researching them. There has to be a reflection of, okay, you've done your research. How does whatever information you are saying about the lecturer, about the modules, about the school, about the course, how do they relate to you as a person? How do they relate to your experience? How do they relate to your future, your aspirations? So those are the things you want to bring together. Then lastly, this is like an extra point, check your course or university ranking. But again, don't fall into the trap of always mentioning ranking. I think some people overuse ranking. And if you check Chevening Common Mistakes website as well, it's one of the things they mentioned that there is overuse, people overuse ranking. Yes, ranking is good to mention, but maybe just mention it for your first choice. You don't want to overuse it or just base your choice of courses or those schools just on their ranking. It doesn't show any, extra detail. Yes, ranking is something, but it should not be the sole basis for your application or for your choosing those schools. Yes, you should check them and you might mention them for just 1 or 2 of the schools, but it shouldn't be the major reason or the only reason why you are choosing those schools. But yeah, it's also something to just bear in mind that you can also mention. And moving on now to some practical guides that would help us. We want to leave a lot of time today for showing you some, just maybe I would just crave Munira's indulgence as well. Something just comes to my mind to just maybe do like a 15 minutes exercise, or 10 to 15 minutes exercise as time would permit. But we're going to show you 1 or 2 examples from the practical guides on the next slides. After that, we'll show you some examples and then maybe just ask you to do a 10-minute reflection on 1 or 2 of the schools that you've chosen so that we can, gain something very practical out of this session. So the next slide, please. We just have, so the practical guides are here. they would sort of help you to arrange your why, I mean, studying in the UK, essay in terms of the paragraphs, and we'll see that as well as we move on. You want to think about what should you put down in your essay. The general slides, the general guides that we spoke about in the last slide just says, okay, these are the things that you should do. Then what should you be putting down in your essay? Just these are like our own thoughts. It doesn't mean I mean, this is not like all in all, sort of thing. You can put more, but just what we think might also stand you out are some of the things you can add to whatever else is coming to your own mind. Think about why the UK at all. I mean, there are a lot of countries in the world. There are over 190, I mean, about 193 countries in the world, including, of course, your own country of origin, right? Why are you not doing your master's degree in your own country? Why the UK? Why not the US? Why not Germany? Why not Australia? Why not anywhere else in the world? Why do you want the UK? That's something to think about. It doesn't mean you have to dwell on that in your essay, but there should at least be one sentence that speaks to why the UK. And again, that has to relate. It doesn't have to be something generic. It has to relate to your course and your future aspiration. So I give an example, like saying the global, I'm just making things up right now. What I want to say is just making things up, right? So let me put myself in Munira's shoe and say I want to study global health and policy, global public health and policy. And I'm saying that the UK has the highest number of global health practitioners in the world, right? If that is a true fact, I mean, I like I said, I'm making things up right now. I don't know for sure, but let me say I've done my research and that's a true fact. That is something I can highlight in my essay to say, okay, this is why I want to study in the UK. This is one of the reasons why I want to study, because I have the chance of working, of studying in an environment that has the highest number of global health practitioners in the world. So someone like me that's in the finance industry, we know London to be the capital. Like arguably, London is Europe's financial capital, if not the world. Some people will say the world's financial capital. That is one of the reasons I can highlight that as why I want to study economics of finance, something related to that. I think I need to change space. This one is becoming quite much more now. Okay, so just think about that as why do you want to study in the UK, but in the context of how it relates to the course that you want to study, or the schools that, let's say the course that you want to study, or your future aspiration. Now, the second one is, why is an MSc relevant to your career? Martins. Oh, that's Zainab. I'm not sure I think that's Martins. Anyway. So why is an MSc relevant to your career at all? We typically say something as fun, and it is true that, I think it is true that education generally is not for everybody. I mean, as much as possible, we encourage people around us to go to school, but when you come to Europe, or when you come to the UK precisely, you would see that a lot of them don't even bother going to school. That's the truth. MSc, for instance, is dominated by, there's almost any class or any school you go to that you won't see almost 70% or more of global students. Like, students in the class are like 30% UK citizens or Europeans, and 70% from other parts of the world. The point I'm trying to make is, school is not for everybody, and you've done your bachelor's degree at least, or you've done your, one degree or the other. Why is an MSc relevant to you? It's like to say, in fact, some of the heads of Chevening, a lot of them they didn't do an MSc, right? I think Martins and Matt and Munira would remember. I think what's the guy's name? The two ladies, the guy and the High Commissioner in Nigeria of Britain to Nigeria, they told us in their we had a meeting with them maybe 2 months ago or so, and they said they don't have an MSc. I mean, to say an MSc is not important to everybody, but you have decided that you want to do an MSc. Why is it relevant to you? So I give you an instance. I'm saying I've checked the profile. So I've set a standard I've set a goal for myself. This is what I want to achieve in life, right? And I'm telling Chevening this is what I aspire to be. And I'm saying for me to get there, I've checked profiles of people that have been in that post in the past. And they are either MSc holders or they studied abroad or they are PhD holders, that kind of thing. That is why an MSc is important for me, right? For me to get to where I want to. And so, if I mention a point along that line, it shows my reader that, yes, this guy knows what he wants. He knows what it takes to get to where he wants to get to. He has checked profiles he has done his research to check profiles of those who are, who have been in the position that he is aspiring to be. And he's saying based on all of these things, MSc is the next thing for him to do, and it is relevant for him, right? So you need to be able to justify why an MSc is important for you, because let's face the reality. A lot of reviewers of these essays, they know that a lot of people come to the UK not because they really want to study. I mean, not people that apply for Chevening, don't get me wrong, but many people that come to maybe self-fund, they don't necessarily come because they are coming to school. They come because they want to get away from, in Nigeria. You remember the term Japa for those who are not Nigerians. I think Marcus mentioned that in the first session, right? So there has to be a reason why an MSc is relevant to you, and you have to highlight. It's best to highlight that, I think, in your essay. So are there any credit, certifications or accreditations that you also have that are relevant to your experience or your future aspiration? You might also need to, put that down to say, yes, I'm not just waiting for an MSc, or I'm not just waiting for Chevening to sponsor me. These are the things I've been doing to get to where I want to get to. But I still think an MSc is important because the profile of the people that get to that position, includes an MSc, or they've done an MSc studies in the UK or in any country. So I think we get the points we are trying to make here, that you should highlight why an MSc is relevant to you or to your future aspirations. Now, why the course?
I think I just want to add to that point, just quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very important, especially for those that are like pivoting from a certain or they have a certain experience in another field and they want to go into another field. So for example, I'm a pharmacist by profession and I've been practicing as a pharmacist, but I don't really have experience of like public health. But then I had to justify that, okay, based on my work experience, what I've seen and what the UK can give me, this is why I want to do an MSc. So you have to relate it. So the thing with Chevening is like everything has to be consistent. You have to show some level of consistency from all your essays and what you're writing, and your why. Your why has to be consistent. So it's really, really important to highlight why you want to do that MSc. And for those that want to, like, as I said, those that want to, like, if it would have been easier for me to just say, okay, I'm a pharmacist, I want to go and do clinical pharmacy, I still need to justify it. But when you're like going into another field, you have to justify it more. So it's really, really important. I just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much, Munira. Thank you so much. So that's something very important to bear in mind as well. Now the next point says why the courses in general, and we use the word courses here because you might not necessarily have the same course. So let me use my own instance as an instance, and I think Munira too would speak to this particular point. So my three choices of schools when I was applying, I had economics, MSc economics in the University of Liverpool as my first choice, which is where I am currently anyway. My second choice was University of Birmingham, economics as well. And my third choice was University of Portsmouth, economics and finance. That was the course I applied to there. So I had economics first choice, economics second choice, economics and finance third choice. And in my opening paragraph, for my, this essay that we are talking about, why studying in the UK and all of that, I had a line that spoke to, this is the reason why I want to study economics, right? In these three schools. I mentioned the schools. You don't have to say, you have 500 words counts again, but you see, your first draft doesn't have to be 500. It can even be 1,500. It can be 700. It can be 1,000. I mean, don't focus on your first draft has to be 500. No, you can have your first drafts as much as possible. Pour out it's like you just pouring out your mind, and then when you are, eventually proofreading and all of that, or editing, you can weigh your point and say, okay, which one sounds more convincing than the other, and then you begin to sieve out some of those points from there. But the main point here is, why am I saying, why do I want to study economics? I've justified why MSc, that's different. MSc, it doesn't have to be MSc economics. MSc in general, why MSc at all? That's what we just spoke to. Now, why that particular course or the choice of those courses? So for me, I had something along the lines of, I want to know the interconnectedness between monetary policy formulation and the investments world, right? So I was working as an investment research analyst, and I do a lot of macroeconomic analysis and also financial market analysis. That's my field essentially. So I had something in my opening paragraph, right? I had something along the lines of, there was, from my experience back in school, back in my undergraduate studies, I took a specialized course that was called monetary economics, because I'd always been interested in policy formulation, how policy affects people's lives and all of that. And then I said, even from my experience now, right, I had over 4 years of experience before I applied for Chevening. So I mentioned something like, from my experience as well, I've seen, how practically policies that are made at the federal level, right, how they affect, oh, sorry, I muted myself. So how policies that are made affect investors, or how investors react to those policies, especially when those policies, I'm not reading from my essay right now, but I'm just telling you what along the lines of what I said, how those policies affect, investors' reaction, especially when those policies are, when they deviate from what the market is expecting. And then I went on to say that I want to go ahead to study economics right now because I want to know more about monetary policy formulation, what actually informs those policies, and how do you make the best policies? We've seen policies made, I do global research. I do research into even the UK, the US, advanced economies, emerging market economics, and all of that. So I see how policies are made in these different climates, in the advanced economies and then emerging market economies, and how different reactions come. And I'm saying economics, I want to go and do economics right now because I want to know what actually informs those policies and how can we get it right in Nigeria, for instance, right? Along that line. So after saying, this is why I want to do MSc and MSc. Now, why those courses? Why do you want to do economics? Why do you want to do global health? Why do you want to do cybersecurity? I could have chosen to do an MSc in finance strictly, right? But for me, I don't think having an MSc in finance will not necessarily help me get what I want to get, right? Yes, it can help me to get to, I can still use an MS finance to be the CBN governor, but it won't help me to understand what I want to understand, which is monetary policy formulation. Finance doesn't teach me that. It is economics that teaches me, that will teach me how monetary policies are made. So there has to be like at least one reason that reflects around your choice of that course or those courses. But again, that's why it's important that your courses are very similar, so that you are just having one sentence as to, this is why I want to study this course, and you are not going from course A to course B to course C. If it gets that point. So I will let Munira also maybe share her experience about why she chose a course, and just to also add more light to that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dami, for sharing. You basically said everything, but I'm just going to share my experience. So as we said, your why has to be very, very clear. For me, when I was applying, I knew I wanted to study an MSc, and I have my long-term goal, which is to contribute to reducing maternal mortality. And so I had to tell them why I wanted to go to the UK in the first place. So I gave them an example with, I brought in statistics. That's why I told you have to do research. I brought in statistics to compare between Nigeria and the UK, what percentage of GDP is being invested into the healthcare in the UK versus what is being invested in Nigeria. And then I connected that to my career plans, because one of my goal is to strengthen the primary health system so that we can improve maternal and child health outcomes. So I had to bring all that together so it aligns with my long-term goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. So you have to give your reasons, and it has to be clear. And it shouldn't be something that everyone is saying, like, why is your application different? Why is your why standing out? That is what will make you get selected. So you have to think deeply about what exactly you want to achieve, and you have to say it exactly the way it aligns with your career goal. I mean, many people can say many things that are similar, but why is yours different? You have to think deeply about it, and this comes from doing research. And you have to also think deeply about, okay, this is what I want to achieve. What is it that I want to go and learn in that UK that I cannot find in Nigeria? And again, that is where research comes into. You have to research into your field. Look at what the UK is doing in your field. Go online, research, look at what they are doing, think deeply about it, and think how you can relate it to your why you want to go to the UK, and then you state that. When it comes to choosing courses, you have to go directly under the universities and look at the courses and look at exactly what aligns with your goals. So I had, like, public health is very popular. There are so many variations. But when I was choosing my university, I chose Queen Mary University as my first choice because I think they're one of the only two universities that offers global public health and policy. There are many universities that offer global public health, but not with the policy aspect. So one of my long-term career aspirations is to become a director at the health ministry, policy intervention, whatever. I wanted to get into policy. So I wanted to have a combo, like a burger combo. I wanted to study public health and also gain some experience from policy. So that was like perfect for me. And then I looked at all the courses they had. They had a course that focused on primary healthcare strengthening. And I also looked into, like, who are these people offering these courses. I looked into the professors. There's one professor that was doing really, really amazing work when it comes to primary healthcare strengthening and all that. That was perfect for me. Like, I could have gone to a higher ranked university and all that, but I chose to go to Queen Mary because that aligns perfectly with my career goals and aspirations. And I believe that will give me exactly what I want to achieve my goals. So you have to look at, while university ranking is important, well, don't get me wrong, Queen Mary is top 20 UK, 7th in intensive research. It's a Russell Group university. So I also looked at that, but I could have gone to a much, much higher ranked university, even though, yeah, I'm very content with my choice. But then what I'm trying to emphasize is that it's not just about ranking. You have to look at what you truly want and how it aligns with your career goals and aspirations, which is really, really important. What are you getting out of it at the end of the day? It's not just about going, okay, I'm going to go to Oxford. Okay, what if the course doesn't align with what you want to achieve? At the end of the day, did you just waste your 1 year doing an MSc without actually getting what you really want to get out? So emphasis on choose a university that aligns perfectly with your career goals. You know where you want to get, so it has to be a university that aligns with your goals. Do your research. This is really, really important. Do your research. There are multiple universities in the UK. Over how many? I don't know, but multiple, hundreds of universities in the UK. So why are you picking that university? And you have to justify your choices. We're going to give more details on how to go about maybe things you can add when you're, like, giving your justifications later on. So Dami, I think you can carry on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for elaborating on that, Munira. And then the next point is just, I think almost all the other points that are on this slide, we've already touched on them. Either before, even right now as Munira was speaking, she touched on some of them. So I'll just, like, gloss over them, and then we can go into sort of more practical, like, we can start to think about or see an example, one or two examples, and let us also have them. So ranking, I mentioned that before, but I mean, just to highlight again, don't let your only justification be based on the ranking. There has to be more than just ranking of the course. And how do the courses, right, align with your career plan? So that comes from you checking the module content. That comes from you knowing this is what the course is about. This is what the course will teach me. This is how it's going to be delivered. And these are the skills I stand to gain from this, from doing the course in the university of whatever I've chosen, right? So how do the courses align with your career plan? And how do they relate to your experience as well, if relevant? So it's always good, especially if you are someone that has been doing something that is relevant to what you want to study, and that is also relevant to your future aspiration, like myself. It's good that we have Munira, who is also coming from, who did an MSc now. I'm saying did because she's already done. She's already putting pressure on us, but no problem. So Munira did something in MSc that is not necessarily what she was doing before. She was doing pharmacy, and now she did an MSc in global health, public health and policy, right? So if you are someone like me who was doing something, you have an experience that is relevant to the course you want to do and that is relevant to what you want to do in the future as well, it's also good that you highlight how that your experience as also, how the course also relates to your experience, and that's why we put there that if relevant, right? It's not a must, but I think if you check Chevening website, it's one of the things that they recommended as well as one of the strengths of, award-winning essays. So as much as possible, if that is relevant for you, please put it there. Then the lecturers, we've mentioned that before, that if there are lecturers that are doing something, research that are relevant to your field or that are relevant to your future aspiration, mention them, mention their names. In fact, I mentioned, I think 3 or 4 names of lecturers that I would like to meet. Like in University of Liverpool, I mentioned 2 different lecturers that I would like to meet. And I think University of Portsmouth, I mentioned 1 lecturer that I would like to meet and I mentioned why. It's not just you mentioning them. I mean, you can just mention any name. And like Munira said, anybody can write anything. Why? Everything you are doing, there has to be a why. A why. Why is it relevant? Why is this point relevant? Yes. You want to meet Professor Martins Osazua. Why do you want to meet him? Why is it of interest to you? How is it relevant to you as a person or your future aspiration? That has to be reflected in your essay. Then the last one is sort of not very important as well, but if this is something that also it relates to you, which is non-academic activities, right? You can just mention it, but that cannot be your major reason, right? One of the mistakes that Chevening also highlights is people overemphasize these non-academic activities, like mentioning football. Maybe you are a Manchester fan, you're a Manchester United fan, and you are putting there that, yes, your first choice is University of Manchester, your second choice is University of Salford, your third choice is Manchester Metropolitan University. So all your 3 choices are in Manchester, and you're putting, someone said, what of Chelsea? I'm just using an example. I'm not even a fan of, I'm not primarily a fan of Premier League.
What club do you support?
Why do you want to rat me out?
I hope you support Man U, because I don't want to hear anything.
Okay, I better keep quiet then. Okay, so you don't want to overemphasize the fact that you are selecting Manchester, universities just because you want to visit Old Trafford. You don't want that to be your major reason. I mean, it can be something you can mention in just a line, but it can never and should never be your major reason, right? It should just be something like you've written all the other reasons, and then you say, by the way, just introduce another paragraph and another sentence and say, by the way, is already 3 words, right? That's already eating up a lot of words.
Yeah.
You can say besides or moreover, that kind of thing, and just put a line. Moreover, I would like to visit Old Trafford. It doesn't have to be, don't even let it be up to 20 words for that particular non-academic activity. So it's just something of by the way, you understand? So, but if it's relevant to you, it's not very important, but if you can, it should just be, just one sentence maximum.
I would like to add that,
yes.
I think you can throw it maybe once. I did it when I mentioned my first choice. My first choice is in London. Another reason why I wanted to go, like, to study, okay, I'll be in London. They don't want, even Chevening, they don't want it to be too serious. They just don't want it to be too much. So you can just throw it once. And I said something like, okay, in London, I'm a huge tennis fan. I love tennis. And then there's Wimbledon in London, which is a perfect opportunity for me to see Wimbledon. You can just say something like that. You can even say, if you're a fan of museums, London has lots of museums. You can just throw it in as a museum enthusiast or fan enthusiast. I look forward to exploring or expanding my visual imagination, stuff like that. Just a line or two just to throw it in. I mean, it can be important, but you don't have to, but just don't overdo it. Say it once, and you don't have to do it for second choice, which is in another city, and third choice, which is in a different city. Yeah.
Exactly. Please don't overdo that. Just at maximum, just mention it for one, just for maybe your first choice, just for one of the choices. Don't overdo it so that it doesn't look like, oh, it's over. I mean, just don't overdo it, essentially. I mean, so if it is music that interests you, if it is sports, if it is a tourist attraction or festival, just one line, just one sentence or two, like Munira said, don't overdo it.
Laughing at the comments, someone said you cannot make the mistake of mentioning Chelsea in your application. Is it not Chelsea?
I don't know about that.
You don't want that kind of negativity in your application. Chelsea and Arsenal that can never convert anything. I beg. Okay.
I don't know about that. Okay, I think I would hand over to Munira to just show us the, an example or an excerpt from the next slide.
Okay.
And then I can also, after that, maybe come back and just show one example. I said, but it's not on the slide, but we'll try and make something up.
Okay. So this is an essay that was willingly shared by one of a previous scholar. So this is the reason why she chose her first university. So you can see I have highlighted some of the points just to emphasize on them. So she said the MSc in Sustainability, Enterprise and the Environment program at the University of Oxford is my first choice. So you can see how she started. See, even structuring of these essays are really, really important. How you structure it. Obviously, at the end of the day, it has to discord the essay. It's not just about what you say. They look at your grammar, the flow, and everything. Everything has to tie down. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to be consistent. So you need to take note of that. So she said the MSc in Sustainability, Enterprise and Environment program at the University of Oxford is my first choice. So you can see how she started, straight to the point. She didn't do any, she already has an opening paragraph. This is her first choice university. She went straight to the point, stating the MSc in Sustainability. You can see the first thing the reader will see. You don't want the reader to come and be scrambling, like, what is the course this person wants to study? Like, it's not obvious. So the first thing you want to write out is the MSc in Sustainability. I like this example because I want to make some points out. I want to pick out some points to emphasize on. The MSc in Sustainability, you can see right from, if I was a reader and I was reading it, I know what this person wants to study. She has said it in her first sentence, sorry, in her first line, you can see it. So she went on to say, at the University of Oxford is my first choice. And she has made it clear that it is her first choice. She has given the name of the course, the name of university, and she has stated that this is her first choice university, in case, because I've seen so many essays, some people forget to mention that this is my first choice. They just assume and just start writing 2 different paragraphs. So you have to state everything out, which is really, really important. Then she went on to say, this is her first reason. You can see this is a reason. As the 2021 Times Higher Education World University Ranking Report states, that Oxford is the UK's premier university for sustainable energy and engineering. So this is really important because in her first paragraph, she has already stated why she wants to study in the UK, and she has stated that the UK has something sustainability, energy. They have a I don't know, platform. This is not my field, so I'm not very familiar. But she has given a reason in her first paragraph for why she wants to study sustainable energy in the UK. So you can see she's reinstating it, and she has given a reason why she chose Oxford. This is aligning. This is consistent with what she has been saying all this while. Then she went on to say Oxford is globally recognized as one of the 2 highest ranking universities for academic study in the UK. This is another reason. She has given another reason that obviously Oxford is ranking university for academic whatever. This is another reason. Aligning with Oxford's tradition of excellence, this program, now she's going on to give reason why she has chosen her 3 courses, her course in University of Oxford. So she said that because this aligns with Oxford's tradition excellence, the program includes interesting intersectional module. So you can see she's talking about the modules that she's going to study in the university. It's not just mentioning the university, the ranking. She went on to expatiate and talk about her modules on new economic thinking, on net zero sustainable development. So, and this thing is connecting back to, because she has talked about, in one of her essays, she has talked about something she has done on net zero sustainable development. So you can see she's emphasizing that if she goes to this university and she takes this course, this will contribute at the end of the day. Let's keep reading. Energy system change, enterprise and innovation, sustainable finance and market and society. You can see she has mentioned, this is one of the things that this is one of her whys. It is consistent from, I think, 2 of her essays. She has been mentioning net zero, whatever. So you can see she's bringing it here. It's also tying to her why right from the beginning. Everything is connecting, which is what they want to see. Interestingly, these modules will teach me sustainable. And then she went on to say, it's not just about mentioning, okay, they have this module, right? How will she gain from this module? She went on to mention it. These modules will teach me sustainable energy and econometric models, enabling me to quantify and assess the implications that political decisions in energy, environment, and climate have on the energy sector and its economy. You see this why, this reason that she has given, she has stated it right from the beginning. It is in her career plan why she wants to study all these things, and she's reinstating it here. This is how you connect your essays. Every single thing you write. One of the things that I made sure when I was writing my essays, okay, backstory. I applied for Chevening 2 times. The first time I applied for Chevening, I did not get mentored. Like, I just read, did my research, got to the interview, I didn't get it. But the second time, obviously, I didn't really do much. I just had to like rephrase my essays to avoid self-plagiarism and just made some little changes, and I submitted my essays. So the thing is, you need to do your research. Research is very, very important. And one of the things that I cannot overemphasize is that everything has to align. It has to align. I make sure that everything I'm saying is consistent. You can't say A here during your leadership and not, you have to signpost, and you have to have some, I don't know how to explain it, but you have to throw in things and they have to be consistent. Don't say one thing in one section and then go to another section of your essay and say entirely the same thing. Everything will connect. So this is bringing back to her career plans and connecting it to how these modules will give her the knowledge and skills that she will use to achieve those plans. So you can see, there are so many ways. There's no one way to do it, but this is a very good example to show you that. You see here, she didn't mention that maybe there's something specific in Oxford that she wants to go and see, which is fine. You don't have to. You can go to the next example and you can say something about the city or something fun that you want to experience, which is allowed. So the thing is, you can see there's consistency. And one of the things you cannot miss out on is connecting it back to your short-term goals or your long-term goals. Very, very important. Dami, I don't know if you have anything more to add? Yeah.
Yes. I think this has already explained every other thing I'm likely to mention, but to avoid, just repeating rehashing the same thing, if I have your permission, Munira and Martins and Osato, our leader, I would just like to share some excerpt from my own essay. And the reason why I'm asking for their permission is that, one, this example that Munira has talked about, and if I have their permission and I'm sharing mine as well, we don't, what's the word to use now? Don't see them as a template, right? Or is that the right word? Like, don't see them as the only way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
There can be different ways to go about it, but whatever we talk about, you just see similar things from what Munira has spoken about now and what I have in mind to show you, so that you see that there are some consistency, and don't fall into the trap of this is the only way you can do it. But it's just to give you an idea of, yes, these are the key things. And you will see some similarities between what Munira has spoken about and what I'm going to show you shortly. So do I have your permission? I need I need a tripartite.
I think you have mine.
Okay, thank you, Martins, for being generous.
About Osato and Munira.
So do I have your permission, Munira and Osato?
Of course, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Osato is not saying anything. Okay, so I will show you just some excerpts from mine. From my introduction. It's not on the slide, but I'm just going to copy it and put it in the chat box right now.
Okay.
So this is an excerpt from mine. Please, I've already pasted it, but I've not clicked on send. But I want to just beg you that don't share this outside of here. And this is not an add and fast rule of this must be there, or you just go and change one or two words from here and put it there. Please don't do that. It can be counterproductive, and we don't want it to be counterproductive, right? So this is one of the excerpts I'm going to show you. Now, this is from my opening paragraph, but I've already said maybe 4 sentences before I got here. This is the rounding, the last, is it 1 or 2 sentences now of my opening paragraph. So I've said some things, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, to prepare for this as a prospective monetary policy maker, I believe that learning from experts who interact directly. Remember, we mentioned before that you should check your lecturers and you should justify why UK. This is me trying to say, this is why I want to study in the UK, right? There are experts. I can learn directly from experts who, interact with monetary authorities in advanced economies. I'm saying this would be advantageous to me, right? And I say, thus, I decided to pursue MS Economics in the UK with my preferred schools being this, and this. You can see that's how I closed out my opening paragraph. So this shows you, I've said some things about my background, about why I want to do an MSc, and then I'm saying, here, why is UK? I mean, UK the place for me to go to? But I've generalized it and said in advanced economies, right? And then I've highlighted my singular choice of economics. Mind you, in Portsmouth, my third choice, it was economics, finance, and what was it called again? Economics, finance, economics, banking, and finance. Yeah, that's what the course is called there. But I've just said MS Economics here because it is more like all-encompassing. Okay, I'm going to show you what I wrote in my second paragraph with regards to my first choice of school, and you will see some similarities. So I've just pasted it now. You'll see some similarities between this didn't copy well. Oh, it didn't copy well. Anyway, this will still give you an idea of what is there. So you see some similarities between these and what Munira talked about in that slide that showed you that example. And as we are doing this, I would like you to start to reflect because, like I said, we would like you to take out 15 minutes, just 15 minutes to draft something. I mean, it's not your final draft, definitely, but to just quickly draft something. We know that you are still doing some research, but we would assume that you've done some research at this point. And based on what you already have, which is not final, definitely, we just wanted to draft something and we would take maybe 2 or 3 examples from the room and use them to just show maybe what you can improve on and all of that. But definitely, whatever you show us now is not your final draft, but just to highlight some things. Okay, so I said, this is my second paragraph where I talked about my, my first choice of school. And you'll see that I also started by doing, by talking about I highlighted my school, I highlighted my course, and I highlighted why I wanted that school, right? MSc Economics, which school? Liverpool. It's exciting to me because of the course structure and the faculty's experience. I said, important to me, the course is designed to provide a solid foundation towards working in an economic research role. Remember us talking about having a common theme in all your 4 essays, right? Munira also mentioned that right now when she was talking about, on this slide. And here, you would also see all my essays, all my 4 essays, I had that common theme of policy making, monetary policy making, and how it affects people. I have that common theme. Of course, the way I write about that theme depends on the particular essay I'm writing on, the leadership, the networking, the career plan, and the study in the UK. But that thing is reflecting everywhere in all my 4 essays. It just shows consistency, like Munira also mentioned, right? So I said, picking my interest further is the opportunity to learn from Professors Job Collins and Oliver de Groot, whose research are consulted by central bankers in advanced economies, such as the United States. Okay, so it's like it didn't fully copy. So let me see where it's talked. United States and this. So I'll paste the remaining part of that. Yes, and the European Central Bank. I believe this experience, coupled with the possibility of an internship with international organizations, will be useful for my long-term goal of, I've not even gotten to my career plan essay, but I'm already introducing here why this course, why an MSc, and particularly this course, and even this school is relevant to what I want. So you see, there's a way of convincing someone that you know what you want. You've done your homework, and I mean, you are just showing them that there's consistency in what you want. You know what you want, and you know what it takes to get to where you want to get to. And those are the things that you want to highlight in your essay. So you would see there are a lot of similarities between what I have there and what is on this slide as well. So it just shows you that there are common things that you have to be aware of, and those are the things that we've already highlighted earlier in the slides, the general tips that we gave and the practical guides as to what you can include. So the next slide, I think Munira will speak to that, and after that we can take.
Before
Okay.
we go to the next slide, I think I want to share the opening paragraph of my essay, and then I want to highlight some points. Let me see if I can paste it. Okay. Coming. Why is it
that? I just want to mention that whenever you are giving an acronym, please make sure that somewhere before you've mentioned the full meaning. Don't just give, like me, you can see CBN here, but there was somewhere before that I've already mentioned the full meaning of CBN. So me putting CBN here doesn't mean I haven't. So I didn't show you my full essay, obviously, but so whenever you don't just mention ECB or mention what else can we say now? That is generic. But you get the point. Don't just mention an acronym and not talk about the full meaning of that acronym somewhere before. Right. Can go ahead, Munira.
Okay, so I had to paste it in 2 different. Okay, so this is the opening paragraph of my essay. I didn't change anything, but please do not copy. Obviously, like if you copy plagiarism, it's just to show you an example. So you can see how I started my opening paragraph. I said, as a pharmacist in the public health sector, I have seen how health facilities in Nigeria are underdeveloped, underfunded, and underserved. It contrasts with the UK government's prioritization of healthcare, with around 12% of GDP budget allocated to the healthcare. The government's continuing failure to address health as a fundamental human right has robbed Nigerians of efficient healthcare delivery systems. Introspectively, this array of challenges in our health systems, reinforced by research, has elicited my desire to strengthen primary health system and thus fill the gap in health inequity and improve maternal and child health outcomes. To achieve this, I have elected to study in the UK to tap from their developed healthcare systems to impact my community positively. So you can see, maybe Ndami's opening paragraph is not the same as mine, but I chose to start with, this is how I did it. First, state my professional experience, state the problem. I have a statement problem, connect it with the contrast. What is it? Why I want to study in the UK is here. Like, why am I choosing the UK? Why am I choosing an MSc in the UK? I've stated that. And then I told them how, if I go and study in the UK, this will help me achieve my goals. So you can see there are so many ways to do it. You can state your professional experience. And when I said this array of challenges in health reinforced by research, in part of my ACs, I've told them that I have done some research, I have done some professional development. I did an internship with the West African Academy of Public Health. I took lots of courses on public health. I didn't just come and say I want to do public health. I justify it. So this is me reinstating that I've done that research, and I know that, yes, I'm ready to do an MSc, and I know if I do an MSc, this will help me achieve my goals. So this is just the point that I wanted to make. Okay, so I think we can go to the next slide now.
Yeah, just in doing that, I can see a comment in the chat box says it feels like you need to research the situation in your country. See, we can't overemphasize the amount of research you need to do. I mean, it's not even about the research now. It's about the problem. You know, what problem? Because remember, what Chevening is all about is leadership, making an impact, you know, effecting a change. So, I mean, you can't effect a change if you could not even recognize a problem, right? So there has to be a problem that you are setting out to solve in your own little way. So we can't emphasize the importance of doing the different forms of research, which includes researching the situation in your country. I mean, it comes from, yes, I'm aware of a problem in my country or in my community, and I want to contribute to solving that problem, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think we are going to do the live demo session. So it's going to have 5 parts. We have the opening paragraph, like we've shown you guys, and then the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and then you have your closing paragraph, which is also very important. I think we haven't talked about it, but obviously you're going to have an opening paragraph, so you have to have a closing paragraph, and this has to tie into everything you've said and re-emphasize on how Chevening will help you. You need to kiss their asses, basically. Emphasize it. After every AC, you have to. Chevening AC will help me do this. Chevening AC, they're funding your life. So basically, you have to keep reinstating that they will help you. Literally, they will help you leave Nigeria. Very, very important. You cannot forget to keep reinstating. The Chevening scholarship will help me. You have to state that in your closing paragraph. So we'll see how we write that next. Dami, I don't know how we're going to. I think Osato sent me a link via my email. I'll try to see if I can open it on my computer. Let me see. Okay, so I have this. Let me see if I can share my screen. I think Google Meet doesn't allow me to share my screen from my computer. Okay, will someone be typing it? Martins, is that you?
I thought you wanted to be typing.
Okay.
But no problem, I can type while you go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead.
Okay, so obviously I've already given the opening paragraph. What do you guys want me to say again? Okay, so can you just open copy and paste mine? The opening paragraph, and then we can carry on from there. It's in the chat.
The one you dropped, your essay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where are you? Okay.
Okay, so I'll do the first choice university, and Dami will do the second choice, I think. Okay, so I'll try to make up something from my head. Okay, so this is opening paragraph and then the first example, which will be the second paragraph. Okay, let's see. This is harder than I thought. Okay, the MSc in, okay, let's start by saying this. Okay, just finish writing. Martins, why are you playing with my head? Okay,
I'm trusting both of you to keep this professional till the end.
okay,
This is where it gets bloody. Okay,
Omo.
Munira, do you want me to come up?
Come up and do what?
To like maybe let's build a persona, let's get someone to like pick a
Okay,
course.
yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think it will be much easier
Like
if we have
from
some
where we
background.
already have health system strengthening as a team, right?
Yeah.
So if there's anyone on the call who already has like a school and the person is interested in health system strengthening, right, in public health in Nigeria, I think that person could be, you just give us your university choices and then we can use that, right? Anyone
please,
on the call?
anyone.
Public health system strengthening. Okay, hola, Sharaf.
Okay, hey, how are you, everyone? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so my master is on public health, and I have 3 masters in my head, or 3 schools in my head. The first one is London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. The second is Imperial College London, and the third is Queen Mary University.
What's the second one, please? I didn't hear.
Imperial College.
Imperial College.
Third choice is Queen Mary University.
Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the courses?
All of them, no, Master of Public Health in London School and Imperial College, and Queen Mary Global Public Health and Policy.
Yeah, I mean, just to quickly comment that this shows like the consistency we are talking about. You can see the 3 courses are very, I mean, they are practically the same, right? So just to quickly highlight that.
And I think, as we said, there's no one way to go about it, but it's really important that you choose. I think you should choose 3 different universities. That is my opinion, because that will allow you to show variation and like you can compare your choices more. If you choose one university, what else do you have to say? I mean, yes, you can talk about the modules, but what else? But then when you have 3 different universities with similar courses, then you have a lot to say, and it will show like differences in why you've chosen these universities, and it allows you to like say more and do more with the ACs. So it's really important to choose 3 different universities. Yep.
Okay, so moving on. So we see here, there's already a justification for a problem that needs to be solved within the healthcare system. And we already see that the courses are all healthcare related. So what we want to do now is to say, okay, let's start with this. I don't know how best to start this. Maybe I will just say I'm thrilled, right? To
You're
enroll,
thrilled?
yep,
Okay.
in the MSc Public Health at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, right?
Scratch that. I don't like that opening.
Okay, you can proceed. What do you want me to put?
As a research enthusiast.
Okay.
That works with me.
As a research enthusiast,
What
the MSc,
enthusiasm?
yeah, as a research enthusiast, the MSc in Public Health at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine.
Okay.
Is an excellent first choice.
Is an excellent first choice, or is my first choice or something?
It's an excellent first choice.
Okay.
You basically say the same thing. It's my first choice, but you can use my to give it more of yeah, use my.
Okay.
Okay. It's my first choice. Now I want to talk about I said research, so I want to talk about, to connect with my opening sentence, I need to talk about why I talked about research. So let's say something like the ranking, the and LS, just do the short form.
Okay.
It's ranked first in the UK for public health research. Mm-hmm.
I'm just with international collaborations.
Yeah, I mean, you can show
According
off it's your
to
school, so why not? Okay, now I'm going to talk about the research modules that I've stated, just to connect things. The modules on, or let's do one module to save time. The module on, let's say, applied research methods or practical research analytics or something like that. Mm-hmm. Will give me the, yes, will strengthen my expertise in, or will help hone my research skills further, or something like that.
okay. In implementation research.
Yeah.
Implementation research.
Exactly. Okay.
To
So now we
address-
have to talk about, yeah, to address
the problem of what?
exactly the problem of let's say needs of
Let's just say rural
public health
communities,
intervention,
right?
like implementation, overview, and all that. Needs of rural communities in northern Nigeria. Okay. Okay, we've talked about that, and then I would actually stress on another module, or talk about a professor. So let's talk about professor.
Okay,
I'm
let's
looking forward
say
to,
a falsified professor's name, right?
yeah.
We can
I
say
look forward to, I look forward to meeting Professor so who is the director of the program.
Learning from.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting and learning from Professor so, and then I would emphasize on the research that he has done that aligns perfectly with the things that I want to achieve. You can go on to say, like, his research on this aligns perfectly with my long-term or short-term goal.
ID is equal to infectious diseases. Let me just spell it out.
Okay.
Whose work is renowned for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What else do I want to see? Now I can talk about maybe why I want to study in London. So I can ship that in. You can say something like
Remember we talked about the second choice?
exactly. But then in the first choice, okay, I think that can be enough because you've stated modules, you stated
Remember,
your
we're not
why.
counting what counts yet. We're just dumping our thoughts, so we can cut down things maybe afterwards. So this is just like draft.
Okay, I
right?
think this should be enough for the first choice, right? This is just a draft and it's just to show you how you can, break it down and include some things. So what do you think? Do we want to add more or should we just leave it? You can stress more on the things that you want to address. You can emphasize more on, you need to actually emphasize
I think we should just highlight the areas that are a bit connected and see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, so good. We only have one thing that connects and the Shanghai ranking. So in our essay here, we have pharmacists in the public health sector who are seeing the problem of underserved and underfunded communities, right? And then with a passion for developing or supporting efficient healthcare delivery systems. I want to study in the UK so I can impact my community as a research enthusiast. I want to do my MSc in public health at London School of Hygiene as my first choice because it ranks first in the UK for public health research and 10th in the world for international collaborations according to the Shanghai rankings. Modules like healthcare evaluation, health systems, and evaluation of public health interventions will strengthen my expertise in implementation research to address the needs of rural communities in northern Nigeria. I look forward to meeting and learning from Professor Magzi, the Director of Infectious Disease Center at LSHTM, whose work is renowned for the trials of the malaria and RSV vaccines. Right.
You didn't emphasize how this align with your long-term goals, which you would have talked about in your career plans. And this you can emphasize and this perfectly aligns with or you can emphasize that his research aligns with what you want to achieve. Something like that.
Okay.
You just stated you look forward to meeting him. Okay, fine, you meet him and then what?
Whose work is renowned for the malaria, blah, 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 and this would boost or this aligns, let's just say this aligns for the sake of, this aligns with my interest in, what's it called?
Malaria and RCV vaccine research. You can re-emphasize that or something like that. I don't know. Or you can talk about the outcomes that you can achieve. What outcomes can come out of improved malaria outcomes, something like that, which aligns with my goals of contributing to improved malaria outcomes in so, I don't know, something like that.
Let's just falsify and say my goals of eliminating or reducing the burden of infectious diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could say my interest of working in the future with the vaccine policy team. There is vaccine research policy team. So any of this can be the goal, falsified. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have our first AC then?
We have our first paragraph for our first school.
Yeah, our first
We have
school.
our introduction. We don't have our
Yeah, I
second
think
paragraph.
it's not bad. We've highlighted key points, right? Yeah, and you can see from the opening paragraph, that's why I wanted to start with as a research enthusiast. I've made emphasis from what I've been saying, I've done research, and I've also stated in my opening paragraph that I've done research, and obviously it's still connecting that, okay, I'm a research enthusiast and this, I'm still emphasizing. As you can see, everything is connecting. What you want to do is everything you say should connect right from the beginning till the end. So yeah. Dami. I don't know how Dami is going to figure this out, but just to use
I'm
your,
going to survive this. I will survive this.
you'll survive it.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
this is a completely different field to, is it economics?
I will try. Don't
Long
worry.
story, I started studying economics in university. Yeah, I studied economics for 1 year and I hated it. My dad wanted me to be a banker like him, and I
Oh,
hated it. And I told him I wanted to study pharmacy, and I changed, and it's the best decision I've ever made in my life.
wow.
Yes, I started studying economics. I
That's
hated
that's
it.
that's nice to know, really.
Yeah.
No, but not the part of you eating it. But it's nice to know that you studied economics.
So the thing is, you know how Nigerian parents are. In my secondary school, I was doing really good in economics. My first year was actually excellent when I
Oh,
studied. But I didn't like it, you know. And
yeah.
studying is hard. I mean, studying what you don't like, it's a struggle. And
Thank
then I
God you
switched to
didn't study.
pharmacy, and it was like the love of my life. So I
I
loved
mean,
being a
if you had
pharmacist.
studied it, maybe you'll be a Chevening scholar right now. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, carry on.
That's that's a good thing to know. Yeah, so to save myself from from this trap that's Munira and Martins want to put me into, I just tried to. So while they were working on the first drafts, I've tried to draft something out, just so I'm not. eh, I don't find it too tough. Okay, so on the second choice, I'm going to drop some things that I've just tried to make up in the chat box. So maybe Martins can help put it on the screen, and then we can see if we need to edit from there. So that's point one I've just dropped. Let me drop the second one. But it's on the same thing, but the thing won't send, everything won't send at once. So I just sent them twice. Okay, so if we put them on the screen, we'll see how long or how short it is and see if we need to add any point. But I mean, this is just a guide. It's not the final thing, but I'll just pick through some things from there. Um, okay,
I'm
why
sorry to
Martin is letting
study
us do that? Okay,
the
sorry.
MPH
What?
at
Oh,
Imperial
okay.
College London, right?
Yeah. So while Martins is at that, I would just like to chip in a little, just an extra point that I mean, obviously we have 500 words, you have limited word counts. So you want, as much as possible, most of your points should be on your first choice. Like, yes, you should have very good points on all the three choices, but you should more like have more points or most of the points on the first choice. But that doesn't take away the fact that the other two choices should also be very solid. I mean, I'm not downplaying the second and third choices, but it's just to emphasize that you want most of the emphasis should be on your first choice, right? So if we read this now, so I decided to study the MSc Public Health at the Imperial College London due to the robust course structure. So you don't want to, I mean, there's also the part of the art of writing when you are writing your essay. It's not just, yes, you've done your research, how you also bring your points together also matter. So if you let's see how we started the first choice again, just to see that yes, you can see the first choice did not start with my first choice is. So now that is the second paragraph, the other paragraph starts with my second choice is. Yes, you can do that, but you don't want to do that for my first choice. Say my first choice is, my second choice is, my third choice is. No, you don't want to. That sounds quite boring. So you can see the way the first choice started. As a research enthusiast, the MSc Public Health at this is my first choice, right? Second one says, I decided to study the MSc Public Health at Imperial College due to the. So yeah, I have not even mentioned that is my second choice. But if I do this in my third paragraph, in the last one, I might want to say, as my third choice, the MSc at this is this. You understand? So even if I don't mention that is my choice, second choice, anybody who reads it, I mentioned first choice in the first one. I mentioned as my third choice in the last one. Here, I mean, it's just I don't need to necessarily mention second choice, but you can also mention it, but just to say, don't sound boring. Okay, yeah. So, robust cost structure and emphasis on public health policy making. Again, remember that we are only making these things up. They are not necessarily true. All the things you mentioned will be based on your research, right? At the end of the day, but it's just like idea. The course will give me insight into the practical considerations of public health policy making. Interestingly, most of the public health policy making committees, if you could scroll a bit, please, Martins. Okay, yeah, thank you. So I don't know this to be true. Again, disclaimer, just making things up. So I said, interestingly, most of the public health policy making committees in the UK has a concentration of their alma mater as the Imperial College. So I've told, it's like me saying, this is why I'm choosing this school, right? This particular, or one of the reasons why I'm choosing this particular school, based on the choice of my course as well. This is why this school is also relevant for my course, right? Further picking my interest is that, okay, I don't know, there's a typo here, but whatever it is, we can list with that. So further picking my interest is the opportunity of meeting Professors Munira Ladan and Martins Osazua, whose research area is public health policy making, or we can close that up somehow like that.
I'll just say health policy analysis, for example.
Okay,
Right.
policy analysis, that's fine. So whatever it is, this like our second, we can close this by just saying maybe something along the lines of learning from them. I've said professors this and this, right? Learning from them would help me become a good health policy analyst. I don't know if that is what we said we want to do in the future for this particular SEO. I'm just making things up, right? Whatever you said you want to do, a future policy, health policy making, yeah. That can help us just close out this paragraph, right? Yeah, help me strengthen my policy analysis. Okay?
Analysis skills, right?
Yeah, exactly. Full stop. I think this works for a second paragraph, but of course, if there are other points you see that are very good, you can always add, but just as an idea.
And we can now start this with, okay, we started the first one with I have decided to study. I think we should change this to my second choice, and then we can
maybe the third one could be as a third choice.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's use it as a third choice, yeah? Let's use it as a third choice, and third one. Munira, where are you? This is your school. Come here.
What do you guys want me to see now?
As a third
anyway,
choice.
I don't think we need to, Martins, if you don't mind, I think because
we don't have enough time.
Left. Yeah. I think,
but then you can decide to talk about when you mention your third school and it's in a city that interests you, like London. You can decide to be like, you can end it with finally, as an art enthusiast, I look forward to exploring the amazing museums in London to further expand my visual imagination. Something like that. You can talk about something interesting, like, for example, in Scotland, there's really interesting cities. Just think about something. It could be your childhood dream. I don't know. Just put it in, like, it shouldn't be too serious. So don't just write the whole why study in the UK section without at least putting something that will show them that, yes, you're not just, it's not just about academics. You also you want to experience some things or something like that. But don't make it too, I don't know, too much by explaining, for example, it has been my childhood dream. No, they don't need to know. Just put it in small. And then when you get to the interview, you have the chance to tell them about your childhood dreams and all that. So, yeah.
So how do we close out this?
Conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I told you guys you have to bring them back in. They are saving you from Nigeria. It's not to Japan, it's just to come and do MSc and go back home. Emphasis on it's not Japan, you must come back home.
Anyways, just by the way, we have other citizens, nationalities.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm being biased. I'm Nigerian, so sorry. Anyways, you must come back home. Better if you are using this scholarship to Japan, let me tell you now, they will drag you out of that.
Munira, off your
Better
mic. Off
reconsider.
your
There are
mic.
other scholarships out there. This is already really hard. So don't waste your time and come and say you want to do Chevening and then you want to stay back. You are coming back home. Put that by the back of your mind when you are writing these essays. Anyways, conclusion. Let's start with the. Oh, how do you want to start this?
Go on.
We can say something like the Chevening scholarship will. Or you can start with study in the UK through the Chevening scholarship. Something like that. Study in the UK. Damn, you should help me with this. Study in the UK through the Chevening scholarship. Would give me the opportunity to connect or amplify my future plans.
Employability prospects.
And also connect with like-minded individuals. Something like that.
Hold on. Develop world-class research skills. And what? There's something about connection.
With like-minded individuals.
Okay.
And connect with like-minded individuals, right? There's something I wanted to say, but I can't remember.
Okay, I wanted to add something.
Okay, you can also connect it. Okay.
Sorry. Develop world-class research policy analysis skills. Yeah. So I would, I think what I want to say is that I would just maybe like to use that kind of thing to close out that statement or that paragraph to say, whatever else we've mentioned. So that's like the long-term goal of this particular individual profile that we are building. To be a world-class research policymaker. So we say while also preparing me to become a world-class research, so that you are closing out everything with your future plan, which then leads you to your next, essay, which is the career plan. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
like-minded change leaders, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you're also re-emphasizing stating change makers. That is what Chevening is all about. So keywords, they matter. Put them in. Like, it's really important that you reinstate that. Okay, at the end of the day.
So your conclusion can be just 1 or 2 sentences maximum.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I mean, it shouldn't be more than 50 words if you ask me. Or about 50 words.
Whatever home country is your home country.
I wanted to say, how many citizenship do you have?
At the point that I'm considering becoming Indian.
I know your plan, but it's all right.
Okay. So why MSc? Somebody is saying in the chat box that I don't see where you stated why MSc. That was the very first thing we began with, right? So I'm going to scroll back up, right? And we're going to do what.
So obviously you are not going to state it out like why I want to study.
It's implicitly stated. It's implied, right? In the introduction, we said, as a pharmacist in the public health sector, I have seen how health facilities in Nigeria are underdeveloped, underfunded, and underserved, right? It contrasts with the UK government's prioritization of healthcare, with around 12% of our national GDP budget allocated to healthcare. The government's continuing failure to address health as a fundamental merit has robbed Nigerians of efficient healthcare delivery services. Introspectively, this array of challenges in our health systems were reinforced by research as elicited so this is why, so this is basically why, all of this is why, right?
Yep.
All of this is why. So to achieve this is why I want to study in the UK. So this is why study in the UK. So
I mean,
building
studying
on
in
that,
the UK translates to your MSc, basically.
exactly. So building on that, we're now saying, since I want to study in the UK, I've made a choice, right?
Who
I
said I'm
want-
not a Nigerian? Okay.
No, I think is referring to someone else.
Okay, maybe I didn't tell you guys. I'm a Nigerian. I'm from northern Nigeria and I'm Hausa. Sunana Munira Musalada. Daga Kaduna nake. Ni Bahaushiya ce. What do you guys mean?
Munira, I think it's even referring to someone else.
Maybe it's the person that has this essay, probably.
Yeah.
That
How
is
many
why
paragraphs are recommended?
I think 5 from what we've said, right? You have an introduction, then you have 1 paragraph for each of your 3 schools. So that is already 4 paragraphs, and then you have your closing paragraph, right? So 5 paragraphs, I think, should work. And most people, I think that's what most people do. Just to also highlight, for the person, someone asks that they can't see why, which is what we've been trying to address. So you see, in answering some of those why questions, you don't have to say, you don't have to be explicit and say, I want to do an MSc because, I mean, that's not necessarily the way you answer a why question for something. It is a reflection of, it is from the way you write that you tell somebody that, yes, you've answered. So you shouldn't necessarily have in your essay a line that says, I want to do an MSc because, no, you don't have to do that, right?
Yep.
So it's a reflection. If you're right, that's, I just wanted to point that out, that you don't necessarily have to say, I want to do MSc in public health because, or I want to study in the UK because, no, you don't have to go that way.
Someone is asking, so why not PhD? Oh yeah, now after the MSc, you do PhD. But you have to come back home for 2 years before you go and do your PhD.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, right?
I'm just
Yeah, I suppose.
typing it down, so you guys can continue without questions or whatever. I think we have 7 more minutes for this section to end.
Okay, so I think we can just maybe we've even discussed it, but do we want to do an overview again quickly and then just highlight some key points and then we move on to questions? This coming back is loud though. I'm telling you guys. That is why if you know that you're not going to come back, go and apply to other scholarships. You must come back home by fire or by force.
Okay, Munira, do you want to take the overview or do you want me to just?
Yeah, you can give the overview.
Right, just to briefly, close out and take a few questions. So always remember that, again, it's when many of the things I'm going to say right now, I mean, are like things we've said over and over again, but just for emphasis sake, let there be a common theme throughout your 4 essays, including this particular essay of why you want to study in the UK. Let it be a reflection of your past experience, if it is relevant, or how it is relevant to what you want to study in the UK. And just like someone like Munira as well, if you are switching, career sort of, as well, I think we have a couple of people as well that have said they are switching careers. Let there also be a reflection of why you are switching, or why an MSc is like that bridge, between where you are coming from and where you want to go to in the future. Your schools, a lot of research into your school. There has to be a problem that you want to solve in your community or in your country, in your state, whatever it is, in your region, or however you describe that. There should be a reflection of a problem and why an MSc in the UK, right? Specifically, why the UK? There should be a reflection of that in your essay, and that particular course, why do you want to study the course? And let it be clearly stated what your first choice is in whichever way. Like we've said, like we've shown now, let it be a different reflection of what's your first choice, second choice, and third. Let it be clear to everybody, I mean, to the reader of your essay, and what the courses are in those particular universities. And, we've also tried to encourage you that don't apply to the same school. I mean, try and apply to very similar courses in different 3 different universities. What else? Research those schools, research the modules, research the lecturers, who is doing a research that is relevant to your career goal. Highlight that in your essay, yeah, and so on and so forth, so that we can take some questions right now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dami, for the overview. I think that was concise and straight to the point. So I think we can just go on and take some questions. I can see some questions but most of them are funny questions, so I'll just laugh and move on. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic and speak. Thank you. Adeyi, you can. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Michael. Just go with Michael.
Okbayemi or something.
No, Michael. I think Michael was first. So
Okay.
Michael, you can go ahead.
Mike.
Okay.
You can
I think
speak.
Ofemi can go next because we can't hear him.
Are they unable to unmute?
I don't know what is happening.
Let me see. No, they're actually supposed to be able to turn on the microphones. Let me just.
Samuel, can you go next?
Samuel, can you go next? Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. So, my question. Someone has typed. All right. So, my question. Someone just read it out. So, Juliet typed and said,
"We can't hear you. Your microphone is giving like some radio feedback, and we cannot hear a word that you are saying. Maybe you type in the chat box." Yes, great.
Oh, okay, so I was saying that the question I wanted to ask, Juliet has already asked. So I will just read out a question so that it can be addressed. So this is what she typed. I have about 4 schools in mind, but then I need to tell Chevening about 3. If it happens that I'm giving admission in the 4th school that I didn't mention in my essay, will Chevening still fund it as long as it's a Chevening partner school?
Dami, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so you have a choice of, I think, up until interview stage. Hopefully you make it to the interview stage. So they'll typically ask if you want to change your school, or I mean, if you are going to change your school, that's the last point where you can change your school. So you have up until then. So yeah, you can get admission in the 4th school or the 5th school, and you can eventually go to that school as far as it is a Chevening scholar, like a Chevening partner, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so you would have a chance if you do make it to the interview, which we hope many of you guys will. You will have a chance. They will ask you at the interview, like, are you content with your 3 choice universities, or do you want to change it? And when you get to that stage too, you have to justify why you are changing it and why you're adding in a new university. But I think it should be fine if you can just tell them why, and yeah, it will be fine. So I advise you to apply to as many schools as you can. When I was applying, I applied to 8 schools. So I had like a pool of choices to choose from. But then obviously, as I said, you put in 3 universities first through your application, and then when you get to the interview, you can change your universities if you want to. So yeah, thank you. Next question, please. Do we have any more questions? Let me check the chat box. I don't think we have more questions.
Well, there are no more questions. We have a poll for you guys. Thank you all for joining today. If you have questions, please come give it up for Dami and Munira, our amazing mentors. They've been with us for over a year, and they've been doing fantastic work. Fantastic work. If you follow through the session, you would know that they did fantastic. So let's get feedback in the poll. Just give us your feedback. Tell us how the session was for you. Tomorrow we'll go again. Tomorrow, same. I think maybe any modalities will be shared, right? Dami, all the claps and all the reactions are going up for the both of you. Munira, who is oppressing us with a completed project, and this is, well, that's good. We'll be all right in the end.
I think there's a question from Prudent.
Yeah, I'm trying to read it out.
So she's raised her hands.
Okay.
You can unmute your mic and speak. Okay, I think she's Opeyemi2 is back. You can go on. I don't know what is happening.
If you're unable to unmute, I'm not sure why that is, but if you can quickly just type in your question in the group chat, in the chat box, so we can quickly take it before we close out.
Okay, today is Andrew's birthday. Andrew, happy birthday to you. We are wishing you a lovely, lovely birthday. Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank
By
you.
next year, you should be celebrating your birthday in the UK.
Right?
Oh, from your mouth to the ears of God.
Okay, so I think finally we have the class attendance code. The class attendance code is right on the screen, SH009. So if you're in class today, you have to fill the form and put in the attendance code. It will not be dropped on the WhatsApp group so that we can sieve out those who miss classes, right? SH009, the form will be dropped on the WhatsApp group so you can fill it and it will ask you for the code. Meanwhile, from my end, in terms of essay reviews will go on full speed mode from next weekend. You want to have your full draft ready by then. Those of you who have submitted your first 2 drafts, thank you for submitting so far. Your essays will be shared with scholars. They will put in their comments, and then you will see the comments on your document live. And from next week, we'll have like full-blown essay review sessions and all of that. Right. I think that answers every other question. I don't know if, yeah, there's a question. Okbayemi is asking, are there specific websites to aid our research apart from general Google search? Wow, interesting question.
Well,
okay, Munira and Dami, that's talking to me, but Munira and Dami answer because
I mean, YouTube is very, very helpful, to be very honest. But if you're talking about general search of modules and universities, Google is your friend. Where else? You go to the university website. That's where you see accurate information. And yeah, you can ask people, reach out to people, like go on LinkedIn, find people that are doing the same course you want to go into, message them, ask them questions. Really, really important. There are so many ways to do research. You don't have to limit yourself to Googling. You can always reach out to people, gain their insights and gain more information. And yeah, but yeah, Googling is, I think, the best thing you can do. But then obviously you have to know what you're Googling, and you have to, I don't know, limit your search to what you're doing. I mean, yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm sorry, my brain is not braining anymore. Anyways, that we can add.
Yeah, we'll just add to that, I mean, Google is still it, but you can specifically, I mean, she's asking for very specific things. So the school's website, every school has a website, obviously. I mean, then the module under the website, you will see the course content for the particular course you want to apply to. So that's where you can get all your information. So you get your course content. Some schools will also put a link that goes, directs you to the information about different modules for the course, so you can understand, I mean, you can see what is going to be taught in the different modules. Some lecturers would also have, they'll put the name of the lecturer there, so you can also search those lecturers. So some lecturers have specific pages for themselves that include their the courses they are teaching, their research work, their past research work, which you can also look at. Those are very specific things that you can also check out. Yeah, you can check out lecturers on LinkedIn, and I mean, some of them will respond, some of them will not respond.
Yeah, some of them, they don't have your time.
Yeah, so
but
there's nothing bad with that, really.
Yeah. But then university website, when you go, almost always you go under the course, the specific course, you check, you'll see facilitators, or you see the profiles, and most of the university profiles, you can click into a profile of a certain professor, you can see their details, they will even outline the research they've done. If it's not there, you can just go search based on the name you're seeing, go on PubMed or something, searching the author's name, or if the specific research the person has done and they've highlighted that on the website, you can just do more. You just have to do, you have to be intentional about it. You have to just do research yourself. Push it, like you have to put in the work. That is basically it. Go out of your comfort zone and just research.
Yeah, I think Martin is trying to show a sort of demo on that as well.
Yeah.
So it's all, the information is all out there.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who can see my screen, right, you always have this people session in either the About Us for the website. You can always do like a general search, right, where you have, so if we start searching here, you start to find like everybody in LSHTM who works here and all of that. And so when you go to also the study with us, when you come to study with us, for example, you will find centers. You find like centers for research and impact. Under research and impact, you can find centers and groups so where you can learn more about their work and find like funded programs and projects that might be of interest to you. For those people who like school helps, you can find any of this. You get. So if you are interested in HIV research, then you should check up what the Alpha Network is doing. If you're interested in antimicrobial resistance, you should check up what these guys are doing. So you just play around the website of your school, right? Or the schools of your interest, really. Play around the website, get lost in it. Check the ref guideline, etc. Okay, and that would really help you according to what our scholars already have shared. We don't want to take this session any further because of time. We want to close now, but we see that Nancy Harriet raised her hand. Nancy, you want to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to thank Dami and Munira for this amazing session, because I had a draft, but I realized how boring it would have been if I would have submitted it at this point in time. So thank you so much. Now, my question is with regard to now, I think we submitted the leadership and networking essay this week. So I was asking, because you said you are now about to go into full-blown essay reviews. Are we this coming week? We are now expected to submit the other two essays, right? I was just confirming.
Oh, yeah, your assignment for this week will be given tomorrow.
Oh,
right?
okay.
We don't want to drop assignment today. We just wanted to focus on these essays today. So your assignment for the week will be given tomorrow, and your schedule for the week would also be shown tomorrow. I mean, you already have the curriculum. It's in front of you, like on the sheet that you have, right? Everything we're doing follows that particular template. Yeah, so what you should do will be told you tomorrow. But for now, remember the attendance code. This is Queen Mary University's website. Everything you need to find is right here. The same thing, find an expert, explore. So if you come through any of their research, maybe material science, migration, molecular genetics, right? You could see all their names, right? You can say, oh, Dr. Simpson Wong, Professor Andrew Silva, who's an expert at cancer genetics. I want to do cancer genetics. This is the Wolfson Institute of Population Health where Munira is studying, right? So these are like the things they do there. These are some of their work. They just got like some news here for disease management in Thailand. You want to read up all of these things. So play with the website. Everything is right on the website. You cannot necessarily go wrong. I don't know if that answers or gives more clarity or perspective to things for those asking questions of where to find information regarding your schools. All right. Yeah. So, but when it comes to other course specific things, and maybe you're interested in like, I think Damilare mentioned a professor's name. What did you call that professor just now? Professor what?
Mine was Oliver de Groot.
Okay, so you could just check for Oliver de Groove or Oliver something. I don't know. Yeah. Oliver de Groove.
I got to know
Oliver
about
Twist.
also
this
from
is Oliver, yeah?
That's the guy. I got to know
Fantastic.
about him by first looking at the University of Liverpool's website, yeah, and see, look at different professors, different lecturers, what is their research area, and do I have anybody that has publications? Exactly. So you see all of those things there.
Valuation risk revalued.
So you can see the monetary policy.
Yeah, I also mentioned one professor who has won the Silver Athena something, which is a huge research thing.
Athena's one.
Exactly, he won it, and Yeah, for his work in primary health systems research and all that. So you see all these things. I mean, it will just show them that you've done the research. You are not lazy. You've actually researched, and yeah, you know what you're doing, and they can see the effort. So don't just write lazily. You have to do research, and it will reflect in your writing when you've actually done that research.
Okay, so this is like a publication by Professor Oliver de Groot. That means guy. And
have you met him?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah. But all of these things, like we said, all your research would not make sense if you do not synthesize it, if you do not personalize it. You don't want to be putting out data, right? Remember, guys, remember. So let's not take any more time. Munira and Dami, you guys want
One
to say
last
any more thing?
question.
Yep.
Someone said, one last question before we go. Changing the course I want to study entirely from my undergraduate course, does it affect my CV or Chevening? No, you just have to justify it. I mean, you just have to really, really justify why you're going into that field, and it will show from how you align all your ACs. So I don't think there are many people who have MSCs and they've gotten it. So why would someone who has an MSc want to do another MSc? But you can see obviously they've gotten it because they've really justified their reasons. So I don't think that would affect your chances of getting it. You just have to do your research and what is it called? And oh my god, my brain is gone. I'm very hungry. Anyways, do your research and align everything. Yeah.
Yeah, just research. I mean, there has to be justification of why you are changing. It does not in itself in any way affect your chances. In any way, it doesn't affect your chances. Just justify, especially it would even be better for someone like you if you have an experience in what you want to do now, which is different from what you did in undergraduate. So you can say, you can buttress on your experience, and why that is relevant for your future. So, but in itself, it doesn't disqualify you at all, reduce your chances.
It doesn't. I mean, if your application is good, we can't overemphasize on doing research and justifying your reasons and aligning every single part of your AC. This is very, very imperative. You cannot miss that. So consistency is key. And yeah, just do your best. At the end of the day, your best should be enough. And at the end of the day, if you don't get it, you try again. I mean, if you don't try again, you'll never know. I mean, I didn't get it the first time. I didn't make it to the interviews, but I applied next year and I got it. So you keep trying. I mean, we have to be very honest. This is a very, very competitive scholarship, and not everyone is going to get it. But at the end of the day, if you've done your best, you've done your hard work, it should be enough. You don't want to look back and have any regrets that, oh, I should have done better. I should have put in more effort into my application. But once you've done your best, this is my motto. This is how I rule. Like everything I do, I always try to do my best, put in the hard work, and you leave the rest. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, you go again. That's life. So yeah, good luck, guys. And it was very exciting to hop on this call and engage with you guys. I wish you all the very best, and I hope to see you. Well, I won't be seeing you in the UK, obviously. I'll be out by then. But anyways, I hope you make it, and I'll probably see you, some of you guys, during the interview sessions, mock trials, and all that. Good luck.
Good luck, guys. Good luck with your application.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I think I should go too.